like never before. Today I came before you with a new topic, that is rulers and buildings. So here, rulers. So before I am explaining this topic, I would like to tell about a great India, our country. So incredible India, having diverse religion, ethnically diverse religion and diverse culture we have, rich heritage, see what not, the landscapes. So from Himalayas to Andaman and Nicobar, so end point of India, such a different, diverse kinds of landforms are there. Diverse culture, diverse climatical conditions, diverse people, whatnot. So everything, the rich country, our India. See, if I start the greatness of India, I'm getting goosebumps. Mera Bharat Mahan. So under this, I'm going to explain about rulers and buildings. See, right from the beginning, India was ruled by many local people, great people from Guptas or Mauryan Empire, whatnot. But here in our lesson, some Indian guys, Cholas, so Chandela dynasty, which was started from 10th centuries, 919 of course. So Chandela dynasty, Chola dynasty, which is present in South India. Next, Vijayanagara kings also belongs to South Indian kings. So these guys were rulers and they given more importance for the constructions of temple and monuments. See here, these South Indian guys, they focus more on temples and even buildings also. Here they wanted to show the victory of them. Whenever they gained victory, they constructed temples in a symbol of victory. And along with the temples, they also constructed many forts. And after that, Arabs. These guys were foreigners. So Arabs also came to India. They ruled India some hundreds of years. Next, Mughals came from Central Asia. See here, if we are discussing about Mughal Empire, they given what we can say. So the great monuments present in Indian history, because they kept huge money for their construction, because they wanted to show their royalty by showing the constructions, right? And next, Britishers. Finally, Britishers came to India and they ruled more than 200 years, and they also constructed many great monuments in India. Even educational institution also they implemented. But in our topic, they given up to Mughals only. See, let us see what constructions they given to India and which are getting the heritage by UNESCO. Right.
This is the temple of Kanderia Mahadeva of Lord Shiva, constructed by King Dangadeva in 999, and he belongs to Chandela dynasty. An ornamented gateway led to an entrance and the main hall where dances were performed. The image of this chief deity was kept in the main shrine. This was the place for ritual worship, where only the king, his immediate family, and priest gathered. The Khajuraho complex contained royal temples where common people were not allowed entry. The temples were decorated with the elaborate curved sculptures. And this is the Raja Rajeshwara temple at Tanjavur, constructed by King Rajaraja. And this is the tallest Shikara amongst temple of its time. Constructed, it was not easy because there were no cranes in those days. 90 tons of stone for the top of the Shikara was too heavy to lift manually. So for that sake, so the path started more than 4 kilometers away so that it could not be too steep. So after construction, of course, the path was dismantled. And those days, methods, two new ways for buildings, two technological and stylistic developments are noticeable from the 12th centuries. 1. The weight of the superstructure above the door and windows was sometimes carried by arches. See, these are the arcs. Arcs. The roof too used to principal and was converted into walls and domes. This architectural form is called as arcuate. Called as arcuate. And engineering skills and constructions. In those days, architects started adding more rooms, doors, and windows to the buildings. Roof and doors windows still made by the placing in a horizontal beam across two vertical columns, a style of architecture called trebid or collab. This is imperial style of Vijayanagara period. The city of Vijayanagara was developed by Rayas to act the imperial capital of entire South India. And they wanted to reflect all the important imperial building traditions. They built large temples for Virupaksha, Ramachandra, Krishna and Vitala using style that had been developed by Chola and Pandya emperors of Tamil Nadu. This included the Vimanas and Gopurams. The Rayas paid special attention to the Gopuram, which were now built on scale and high as never before. The Raya Vijayanagara rulers built these temples on Tamil Nadu models. They also built elaborate secular royal buildings which were modeled on the style and techniques of Sultan architecture. The famous Lotus Mahal, Queen Bath, and the Elephant Stable are example for that. The most impressive remaining of Vijayanagara, the Mahanavami Dibba, is a very high platform of 55 feet that is as tall as 5 floors building and 11,000 square feet area. See, on this platform, the Vijayanagara kings held their Navaratri Puja and held their Dashara court in which all their subordinates, chiefs, nayakas and officers paid their tributes to the emperor. Ambassadors from the Europe and other sultans also attended to the festival. When Arab came for ruling, they also constructed number of monuments in India. Qutbuddin Aibak had constructed Qutub Minar around 1199 AD. And noticed the pattern created under balcony by the small arches and geometrically designed. These are in Arabic and the surface of the minar is curved and angular. Placing an inscription on such a surface requires a great precision. Only the most skilled persons could perform this task. Remember that very few buildings were made of stones or brick 800 years ago. And this Qutub Minar is 5-story high. The band of inscriptions you see are under its first balcony. The first floor was constructed by Qutbuddin Aibak and the rest by Iltutmish around 1229. When Mughals came for ruling, they more concentrated on constructions as well as tombs. And few kings they focus more on paintings. So here, first gardens, paintings, tombs and forts. Here, a painting from Akbar Nama showing the construction of waterway at Agra. And here the painting was Akbar Nama. Under the Mughal, architectures became more complex. And the Mughal emperor was personally interested in literature, art and architecture. Babur described his interest in planning and laying out formal gardens. These gardens were called as Chahar Bags, four gardens, because of their symmetrical division in quarters. And beginning of Akbar, some of the most beautiful Chahar Bagh were constructed by Jahangir and Shah Jahan in Kashmir, Agra and Delhi. There were several important architectural innovations during Akbar's reign for inspiration. Akbar's architecture tuned into the tomb of Central Asia ancestors Timur. The central tower dome and the tall gateway became important aspects of Mughal architecture. First visible in Humayun tomb. We can see this Humayun tomb. It was placed in center of huge formal Chahar Bagh and built in tradition known as Eight Paradise or Harshit Bihitshat, a central hall constructed by 8 rooms. And later we can come to the paintings. A painting of Babur surviving workers laying out a Chahar Bagh in Kabul. Note how interesting channel on the path create the characteristic Chahar Bagh design. We can see more workers are working and actually this is painting. And if we go, the design planned by Mughals is amazing. Next, Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan in his newly constructed court in Red Fort. See, we can say that when Shah Jahan came for ruling, he more spent money, huge money for construction, and actually he spent his life in enjoyably. And behind balcony of this emperor throne was series of Petra Dura inlays that depicted the legendary Greek god Orpheus playing the flute. It was believed that Orpheus' music could calm ferocious beasts until they resided together peacefully. And we can see this Taj Mahal in Agra, so beautiful. And around of this Taj Mahal, some acres of land is garden. And we can observe the concentration or interest of Mughal here. And the royalty we can notice. Shah Jahan adapted the riverfront garden in laying out of Taj Mahal. The gardenist architectural accomplish of his design. And here the white marble mausoleum was placed on the terrace by the edges of river and garden was its so south. The new city of Shahjahanabad he constructed in Delhi. When come to the Akbar's time, Akbar also constructed many construction and he focused more on Jodhabai Palace. And here we go, this Jodhabai palace which is present in Fatehpur Sikri, decorated pillars and structured holding the extension of the roof. And these follow architectural traditions of Gujarat region. Right. See, not only this, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is present in Delhi, it is also construction of Mughals. See, they not only focused on the construction by the Mughals, but also they focused more on tomb. Even after death of these Mughals, also they used to live their after death life also in royal way. That's why their tomb also very rich in.
That's all for today's topic, and I'll be back with a new topic before you. See, I'm hoping you enjoy with this topic because so colorful I think. If you have any doubts, you can comment in comment box and like my video, share my video and subscribe for more videos. Till then, bye bye.